Hello everyone, it's 11:11 and I am here, Football Sunday, fantasy football, news and updates still coming out. We know that there's still players that are on the questionable tag, that if you're listening to Fantasy Sports Radio right now, you will hear Bob Harris and Jeff Manns run you through those lists. But for me right here, I still have one undefeated team. So I want to know who here plays fantasy football, and if you play fantasy football, please tell me the record of your squad. And even if you're 0-3, I had a league where I went 0-4 one season, squad 18, shout out, and I went undefeated from there on out and won the championship, which is unbelievable, but it is possible. So here we are. Who here plays fantasy football? Sunday fun day, let's go. I got the fancy coffee cup out today because I get to celebrate the fact that I do not have to stress about my Dallas Cowboys because they have already played and they luckily won. Okay, we got a 2-1 team in the house. A 2-1. You guys must be feeling great, especially being right there when you know we're going to be getting ready to face bye weeks coming up in the next couple of weeks. And for the schedule, here we are again with another double. Outdoor Life has multiple leagues. 2-1, 2-1, 3-0, and 0-3. This is how crazy the world is. So I have one league right now where I'm still 3-0. I'm more nervous about this league than any of the other leagues because, of course, you know, it's like 2-1, 2-1. We got another one. 2-1, Scott, you are 2-1 in the league that I asked you to get into. I'm so excited. Somebody's got a birthday in the house. And let's face it, world's greatest redneck, you're 0-3, it happens. I am sure you've been hit by injuries and off weeks, and also the expectations we have for our players don't always hit in the first 3 weeks of the game, especially our star players that didn't put any time in during the preseason. So what we're seeing is the first 3 weeks, we see these random players getting 3 touchdowns that nobody respected. I don't follow college. I saw someone in here with a college football question. I don't follow college, but we're going to talk fantasy football right here. So yes, I am overanalyzing, and I actually started to, this is how deep I went this morning. We have another 3-0 team. All right, 3-0 team right here in the house. Another 3-0 fantasy football manager. I started going out and reaching out to broadcasters that I know in areas to find out what their injury report says. Somebody says, I need a W. Let me get this right here. I need a W. I'm 1-2 in my league. Show up Richardson, man. And look, you're waiting on Richardson to pop off. And the problem is this. You have played him every week. Your biggest fear right now is the week that you put him on your bench is the week that he's going to go off. You cannot not be a betting man and just keep consistent with it. When you're looking at, I saw a start-sit question here, and I see Cam Akers being a lot of the conversation, and I would be playing Cam Akers. We know Joe Mixon is not playing. I think that's a really good spot. Keeping the ball on the ground is going to be smart. Remember, Cam Akers also a great pass-catching back. We've seen that out of Joe Mixon, and I feel like CJ Stroud's going to use Cam Akers the same way. So here we are looking at these games. We know Dallas took the win 20-15. It was an ugly game, really ugly game. Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Sunday. Who to pick in a knockout pool this far? Chief, are you talking about a survival? Are you survivor pool? Keep the ball on the ground. That's what she said. Oh, geez. Too early to drop Travis Kelce. Okay. Here we're going to have this conversation. We're going to have this Travis Kelce conversation. It is absolute insanity to consider ever dropping a player that you drafted as high as Travis Kelce. That is a player you trade. Now, of course, you're going to have to be patient. You're going to have to wait for a time where the trade value is high because you don't want to lose out. But here you go this week. Okay, I understand Kansas City's on the road. Travis Kelce plays big against the Los Angeles Chargers. Los Angeles Chargers are missing a ton of key pieces in their defense. And I do think from listening to the channel since 6 o'clock this morning, everyone is on board with the fact that Rashee Rice will be the defense coverage for the Los Angeles Chargers. So with that said, this is going to be your week with Travis Kelce. Now, if you don't want to keep him moving forward, you cannot drop him. You have to find trade value. Don't do that to your squad because what's going to happen is you're going to drop Travis Kelce. Or you're going to trade him. And guess what? I'll answer that question. And guess what? You're going to trade him and then you're going to match up against him. And he's going to get in the end zone like 4 times. Taylor and all her friends are going to be there. Ice Spice will be in the house. All of that, okay? I don't want to let my Nespresso. Just beautiful Tiffany's cup my friend Lisa got me for my birthday. Okay. Do I do meetups? I would love to meet and get a selfie with you. Pinit asks. Pinit20, shout out, what's going on? I do events. When I'm at a public event, I meet people in public with security at group settings. I have 2 left. I've got Exotica, New Jersey, and I've got Exotica, DC. Now, other opportunities to get a photo with me is when I'm hosting an event for my wine brand in New York City, or when I'm hosting a sports event like I'm doing every Monday night at Memory Motel. Other than that, to think with the amount of followers I have that everybody should get a one-on-one meetup for a selfie is absolute not using math. Let's use math here. Guys are supposed to be better at math than girls. Okay, Hill Olave, if he's cleared. Man, Tyreek Hill you're talking about, right? Man, Juwan, that's such an upsetting question. I'm worried about Olave, but it does look like he's going to be cleared. So I guess you're going to have to play him. People say to me, oh, you can't bench Tyreek Hill. I have to bench Tyreek Hill. I mean, his quarterback situation is it's abysmal. So it's so frustrating because it was, you know how if you're in multiple leagues, you get your draft order and you're like, oh, this player fell to me and I would never have this draft order. Example, I got the number 1 pick in one league and I took Christian McCaffrey. I am still 3-0 though in that league, but it's not still making me feel great. Same with Tyreek Hill. He landed to me and I'm like, man, I'd love to have some shares of Tyreek. Like, I like to, yeah, okay. Not working out. Very upsetting. Fantasy football. This is so easy. I can just do this. Okay. Vikings or Green Bay? Jordan Love is the conversation. So the reason I do these at 11, I landed at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. I wore this shirt week 1, the Cowboys won. 11 a.m. I came up, but I like to be done by 11:30 because then I go back and I listen to Sirius XM. So I go to channel 87, that's Fantasy Sports Radio, and we get all the last minute lineup changes, all of the injury reports, all the questionable pad tags taken off or not playing. So I will be able to, I will go into that once. So a lot of these decisions, that's the channel you have to be listening to because it's, Gator says, should I start Shakir or Stevenson in the flex? Man, Stevenson, are you over the pain that he caused you last week? I know I'm not. And it's a league that I'm co-managing with a friend because they got into some leagues, don't know how to play, so I'm co-managing 2 teams. And I was so upset that I played him. Man, I don't want to play Stevenson up against San Francisco. I'm definitely going to be playing Shakir. And it kind of helps you if Olave's banged up too. You bench Tyreek Hill to bed, going to need him for Monday night's Titans win that. Yeah, it's a tough one, right? Not following baseball this year. Sorry about it. Travis Kelce is not washed. Every year, if you go back to the stats, you can easily go to a player's profile on Pro Football Focus, on ESPN, wherever you want to go, and you'll see when the pickup starts. Travis Kelce plays his best football in the playoffs. And Travis Kelce, players that are veteran players that understand you need to leave some gas in the tank, they'll let to run let's see who's healthy. Let's get all these players going young early in the season, and I'll get into my rhythm. So I do not think he's washed at all. Okay. Bills? Man, how great was that Monday night game? That was a great game Monday night last week. Cannot wait. Buffalo tonight. Again, I want to get in injury reports before I go there. I don't do any crazy punishments in my leagues, and it's funny. Hey, Mal, how you doing? Funny is, I was asked to co-manage a team, and it was in a league where you had to get a tattoo, and like the winner got to pick the play. I was like, I can't even be a part of this. This is awful. Chris asks if I have any parlays set for today. I do not, but I did put out a DFS challenge on my Twitter timeline. X, I'm sorry about that. Let me see if it's full. There were 84 spots filled. Now it's full. So I put out a DFS challenge. Adam Ronis and I recap that every Sunday night as we're live on Fantasy Sports Radio. So tonight you can hear me recapping the early games. Also, Adam and I touch on all the live action of the games that are currently going on because we are live 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. So there's a lot to talk about in that time slot. Playoff rematch between Philadelphia and Tampa Bay. Woo. Yeah, and here we are. We talk about weather. Everyone's always talking weather. It's something always to look at. Weather's going to be a little bit wet down there, and I worry about Jalen Hurts missing, two of his receivers. This is now starting to add up on the injury side, but I do expect a big day for Saquon. Travis Kelce will show up on the playoffs. I agree. I completely agree. So I'll answer my daily question. Debo coming off the injury, concerning, right? Brandon Ayuk hasn't even gotten really activated yet, which is so frustrating for those of us who drafted him. But I mean, what are your other choices? I think that helps me make that decision for you. And if I can't answer you in time, you can go to Sirius XM Fantasy on X, and Ray Flowers answers questions up until lineup locks. So you can always get your questions answered. You have to be following on socials at SiriusXM Fantasy. You DM your question on X, and Ray Flowers will get to you and answer. Question of the day that I get answered every day. I have no longer, I learned a new term the other day, AV. I thought that was a great definition for it. I retired years ago, but I know I'll be asked every day for the rest of my life. So I'll answer it every day for the rest of my life, and that's just that. Would I put my money on Dalton or Burrow? This is a Dalton revenge game. Now, I'm a little sus. Andy went out and played catch like he hadn't played catch in quite some time. Crushed it last week. Absolutely crushed it. It's kind of like CJ Stroud, right? You were like, oh, he had a couple good games. You're like, I got to see more. Is Andy Dalton? I got to see more. But what Andy Dalton has done for the Carolina Panthers to allow those players to start receiving some stats is magical. Burrow is still kind of slugging in that. But remember, Burrow starts slow first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, every single season. And now with the jump of Jamar Chase slowdown. So, I mean, it's so tough. Like, I'm going to play Dalton in DFS because it's a cheap play over Burrow. But in my season-long league, I would just feel, but I get you. All right. Nothing valuable, nothing. Sam Darnold or Brock Purdy? I think I got to go Brock Purdy because of the matchup. I mean, New England's defense was really strong the first 2 weeks of the season. Thanks, Todd. I appreciate that. CJ Stroud for 30 plus this week. Let's go, because I'm playing him in a league, and I would really like that. I'm playing him, benching Deshaun Watson over him, potentially looking out to swap. It's a super flex, so I have 3 quarterbacks, and I'm looking to make some trades, but I'm going to wait until we get through some bye weeks. All right, everybody, I'm about to head out of here. Again, if you need your fantasy football questions answered, go to Fantasy Sports Radio on Twitter. My books are available to ship to Europe in one place, either Amazon or fansutopia.com. I don't ship internationally. Fans Utopia sounds autographed copies for me. They handle all the international shipping, so you can just go to fansutopia.com. Again, tonight, 6 to 8 p.m., I will be on with my good friend and co-host, Adam Bronis. The show is Lisa Ann Does Fantasy Game Day Edition. We're live from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I cannot wait to talk to all of you. I'll be sending out some posts. We'll be adding in your bench MVPs. That's a player that you realized is on your bench and is outscoring a starting player. It makes it kind of fun. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to have players match up against us that go in the end zone 3, 4, 5 times. It never feels good, but this is what the fun is all about. For everyone who is not, my wine is not yet available in Pennsylvania, but I challenge you to make a beautiful road trip to New York where you can take some home with you and also enjoy it at all my favorite restaurants in the city. I've been adding more restaurants. You can see the full list of everywhere that sells and serves Lisa by Lisa Ann by going to lisabylisaann.com. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. I will be live later on, and tomorrow night I'll be watching the doubleheader. 2 games on a Monday night. I love this doubleheader, especially at a bar like Memory Motel, because we have multiple TVs. You can easily be watching both TVs at one time. 2 games tomorrow night. I will be at Memory Motel watching them, and Memory Motel is now also serving Lisa by Lisa Ann. So if you want to come in and watch the game and have me tell you all about my wine, that's Memory Motel Monday night. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. Enjoy the games.